Hello, my friends. Welcome back to this study along of the World Order of Baha'u'llah Selected Letters by Shoghi Effendi. Happy Friday. Good to be back with you. This is an ongoing series. If you're jumping in for the first time, come on in. Welcome. And if you would like to get caught up to speed or kind of orient yourself, linked below, you will find the launch video for this project that gives a nice overview, as well as the document I'm reading to study along with, a study guide, and the playlist of all the videos of the sections reading up to today's study along. So last week we read a section entitled The Station of the Bab, the herald and forerunner of the Baha'i Faith. And Shoghi Effendi, the guardian of the Baha'i Faith, is going on and quoting some more powerful quotes from Baha'u'llah about the station of the Bab and therefore the station of a Baha'i, one who recognizes Baha'u'llah in this day and is engaged in this process of creating a beautiful and just and spiritually founded world. Those are my own words. Jumping in to this section titled The Outpouring of Divine Grace. If all the peoples of the world, Baha'u'llah himself affirms, be invested with the power and attributes destined for the letters of the living, the chosen disciples of the Bab, so those were the first individuals to recognize the station of the Bab, the gate, the herald, and all of these letters of the living, that's the name of this group of individuals, all found the Bab on their own through dreams and visions and through their own spiritual search. Okay, so these are amazing souls, right, who dedicated their lives and were very spiritually receptive. So he says, the chosen disciples of the Bab, whose station is 10,000 times more glorious than any which the apostles of old have attained. And if they, one and all, should swift as the twinkling of an eye hesitate to recognize the light of my revelation, this is Baha'u'llah speaking, their faith shall be of no avail, and they shall be accounted among the infidels. So tremendous, writes Baha'u'llah, is the outpouring of divine grace in this dispensation that if mortal hands could be swift enough to record them, within the space of a single day and night, there would stream verses of such number as to be equivalent to the whole of the Persian Bayan, which was the Bab's revealed book. So back to Shoghi Effendi speaking here. Such, dearly beloved friends, is the effusion of celestial grace vouchsafed by the Almighty to this age, this most illumined century. We stand too close to so colossal a revelation to expect in this first century of its era, and this was written in 1931, to arrive at a just estimate of its towering grandeur, its infinite possibilities, its transcendent beauty. So this is a theme that Shoghi Effendi has repeated many times, that we stand too close to such a colossal revelation to be able to measure what it is or what it will unfold and prove itself to be. And with that perspective, he goes on to bring it on home. He says, small though our present number may be, however limited our capacities or circumscribed our influence, we into whose hands so pure, so tender, so precious a heritage has been entrusted, should at all times strive with unrelaxing vigilance to abstain from any thoughts, words, deeds that might tend to dim its brilliance or injure its growth. How tremendous our responsibility, how delicate and laborious our task. So that's a really high standard, you guys, and it's such a beautiful call that he's giving us to strive with unrelaxing vigilance, to abstain from any thoughts. Like, that's probably the hardest part, right? Most of us can, to some pretty, good degree, restrain our words and our deeds, but even our thoughts should at all times strive with unrelaxing vigilance to abstain from any thoughts, words, or deeds that might tend to dim its brilliance or injure its growth. God forbid, right? So now he's moving us in a super, super interesting and important direction. Let's see how long we can go within our sort of time frame. I really love this section, and I had to read it very slowly and okay, this has some really, really important stuff. Dear friends, clear and emphatic as are the instructions which our departed master has reiterated in countless tablets bequeathed by him to his followers throughout the world, a few, owing to the restricted influence of the cause in the West, have been purposely withheld from the body of his Occidental disciples, so Westerners, who, despite their numerical inferiority, are now exercising such a preponderating influence in the direction and administration of its affairs. I feel it therefore incumbent upon me to stress, now that the time is ripe, the importance of an instruction which at the present stage of the evolution of our faith should be increasingly emphasized, irrespective of its application to the East or to the West. And this principle is none other than that which, involves the non-participation by the adherents of the faith of Baha'u'llah. You know where this is going. Whether in their individual capacities or collectively as local or national assemblies, in any form of activity that might be interpreted either directly or indirectly as interference in the political affairs of any particular government. So, okay, let's break this down a little bit. So, non-participation, either individually or as an official collective group, in any activity which may be interpreted directly or indirectly, activities, canvassing, these are just me, right? I'm just coming up with ideas. Canvassing, social media posts, conversation, campaigning, obviously, even potentially protests and events and demonstrations. Of course, our work and our job titles, depending on what that might be. So any activity that might be interpreted directly or indirectly as interference in the political affairs of any particular government, which could be very, very, very challenging. I think also us in the West, we're so used to our culture of freedom, which I highly, highly value, but we can also be very free in our speech, which I also value, and I believe in. We should have free speech. But as Baha'is, Shoghi Effendi is asking us to be conscientious about what we express. And, you know, it's hard when maybe there's like terrible things happening, like other governments enacting atrocities, and like you want to speak out about it. Like, this is a very interesting thing to like really not lawyer obviously, but like really like be very precise about what Shoghi Effendi is asking us here, you know, and it's a very high call. Whether, and he gives us some examples, whether it be in the publications which they initiate and supervise, or in the official and public deliberations, or in the posts they occupy and services they render. It's giving us examples of activities, right? Or in the communications they address to their fellow disciples, so just among Baha'is, or in their dealings with men of eminence and authority, or in their affiliations with society, with kindred societies and organizations, so the groups that we belong to. Think about that. Affiliations with groups. Any group that is seeking to interfere with the political affairs of any country is one in which Baha'is should not individually or collectively associate with. Those are my words. That's me like breaking down this section, right? Feel free to drop in the comments what you think about this. It is, I am firmly convinced, their first and sacred obligation to abstain from any word or deed that might be construed as a violation of this vital principle. First and sacred. Theirs is the duty to demonstrate on one hand the non-political character of their faith, and to assert on the other their unqualified loyalty and obedience to whatever is the considered judgment of their respective governments. Again, this gets very complex. It's very simple. The principle is very simple, and then the reality of it, because we live in a complex world, can at least appear complex. Maybe it's still super simple, I don't know. But next section, next week, Friday, 2 p.m., we're going to go deeper into this. Shoghi Effendi gives us even more, and it's like full of mic drops, and it's very, very just illuminating and great. So come back next week. Friday, 2 p.m. My friends, thank you so much for joining me in this study along. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment. All of those things just help more people find this, and it's also very encouraging for me. So I really, really super appreciate it. And if you are interested in bringing some beauty and inspiration into your life in the form of original art or prints, linked below you will find my online art gallery that has both, so definitely check that out. And I also have a Patreon community if you would like to support this content, support this channel, and know that you are, helping me, have the time and capacity and encouragement to do this. And you will also get all kinds of like fun behind the scenes perks, and everyone got a postcard whose address I have when I was on the road, and I share behind the scenes and what I'm doing, and I have art lessons coming up too, where I'll be sharing some of my art secrets only to my patrons. So you will find that linked below as well. Until next time, my friends, I wish you the best in playing your unique part in making this world a better place. Catch you next time.